ice brew or cold brew? What's going on, everyone? It's Chris from 416 Coffee, and this is episode 31 of Coffee with Chris. Now today, I'm going to show you how to make one of my favorite cold coffee beverages, and that is kind of Japanese style iced brew. So what is the difference between iced brew and cold brew? Pretty much, cold brew, you have coffee soaking in cold water for a long duration of time. Here you have a strong coffee being extracted right onto ice to kind of solidify all those nice origin characteristics while still making cold coffee, and you can make it in just a few minutes, whereas cold brew, obviously, it's a longer process. So a lot of people prefer this method because you do taste more of the origin characteristics this way. So I'm going to show you how to make it right now. It's super easy, super delicious. So here we go. First things first, I'm doing this with a V60. You can do this with a Chemex, Kalita Wave, an AeroPress, anything that you can brew coffee onto ice with, pretty much. You can do this with any device. So don't worry about the V60. If you have a Chemex, if you have an AeroPress, Kalita Wave, any sort of brewer, this can work with. So first things first, as usual, we are going to pre-soak our filter and get our brewer ready to rock. So we're just gonna get this ready to go. So I just pop the kettle back on the heater, keep some thermal temperature, make sure that thing is extracting the coffee good. So now the ratio here, we're gonna do 25 grams of coffee, 200 grams of brew water, and about 100 grams of ice. So you kind of want to grind the coffee a bit finer than you would normally for whatever brew method you're doing. Pretty much this extraction should be stronger because then it's going to be diluted once it hits the ice, right? So you want to brew this coffee kind of stronger than you normally would, and then once it hits the ice, it dilutes and it's delicious. So first things first, let's get 100 grams of ice in there. So actually one of those balls is about perfectly, just about 100 grams. I can't really break this one. So you know what, we'll just roll with one today. I'll be honest with you, it's slightly lower, but I don't have anything to break that other one. So okay, so we'll zero this out, and then we'll add our 25 grams of coffee. Perfect. And we'll make our well. And now this part is just like you would brew a V60 normally. So nothing too different about this brewing part. We're gonna add double the amount and let it bloom for 30. I'm really excited for you guys to try this. I think everyone's really gonna enjoy this, and it's such kind of a different method. I mean, not a lot of people do this. It's becoming more popular now that third wave coffee and kind of some of these Japanese styles are becoming more mainstream. But it's such a fun way to brew iced coffee. So there's our 30-second bloom, and we're just getting to 200 grams. So I'm gonna take this to 150. And I'm gonna let it draw down a bit, and then I'm gonna add the other 50 grams of water, and that's pretty much it. So 100 grams of ice, 25 grams of coffee, 200 grams of water. So your total ratio is about 300 grams, and you're making kind of a nice strong cup of iced coffee. Now obviously with any ratio you can tweak to your own taste and depending on what coffee you're working with, but I just offered like a starting point for you. And by the way, this is a strong starting point. I tend to like my coffee stronger than most. I feel like it's a gift and a curse. It's so relaxing. It's like therapeutic just listening to the coffee drip slowly into that pool. The ice is there. It kind of looks interesting. I'm very relaxed, very zenned out right now watching this coffee be made. Now, like I said, this drip is a little slower than normal, and that's simply because you want to grind a bit finer than you normally would for whatever brew device you're using. So that's just important, like I said, for the strength of this coffee to be right. Because otherwise, if you make it like normal, you might end up like with a really watery kind of cup of iced coffee, and that's exactly what we try to avoid. That's what we try to avoid with cold brew. That's what we try to avoid with this particular brew method as well. So it's all about making this strong enough that once the ice dilutes it and kind of cools it down, that you still get all those nice flavors out of it. So this is just about done. Put this over there. And there you have it. Total brew time was about 2 minutes and 45 seconds. So that's what you want to aim for this small serving. And that's it. This is how you make Japanese styled ice brew. So I knew a lot of you went home after the cold brew video and tested it out and tried it out. So I'd love to hear your thoughts about this brew method. Let me know what coffees you're using and have some fun with this. Try iced coffee in a variety of different ways. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. God damn, that's good.